Hello and welcome to Smile and Spread a Little Joy. I'm Deborah, your host, also known as the Smile Lady. One thing I want to tell you, we were all born to smile. No one, I believe, was born to leave this place worse. We were all born to leave this place better than we found it if we use our gift, the gift that we were given. So basically, anyone on this show, you know they have a smile because everybody can't sit in this hot seat if they don't have a smile to share. And if you think about it, think what you love doing, even if you didn't get paid. That's probably your purpose and your smile. And let me break this down for you. The SMILE is an acronym. Now, children, especially in the school district, you know that. But the S is for support. It's support. It takes a whole village to raise one child. The M is for motivate, enthusiasm. What is that inner motivation that drives you with that gift? Now, once you know your gift, that I is for invest. I use the term serving so we can leave this place better than we found it. The L, the most powerful word in smile. Without the L, it would just be a SME. It wouldn't even be smile. And I'm talking agape. Now that's the hard one. Love. That's the love here. That love here. You have to love yourself before you could give back to others. It's almost like on that airplane when they say put the oxygen mask on yourself first before you can help anybody else. Love is that oxygen. And you have to share. And E, educate. Train up a child in the way he should go. When he is old, he will not depart from it. And Frederick Douglass says, knowledge is power. So that's your smile, and you're just going to spread just a little bit of joy. So I have on my show today, Mr. Reverend, he just got ordained. I don't know which one to call him, Juan Young. And he's going to talk about something that a lot of us are really not educated on. A lot of us, when we're children, we're really not taught, and we should really teach this when we're younger. We're going to be talking about money and financing and, Rich Dad, Poor Dad. He had one of the books that I use in Smile. He didn't even know that. So basically, we're on the same path. He's coming back. Mr. Juan Young. Mr. Juan Young. Keep that name. He's going to give you more information, but I'm telling you, he may be a regular every month. So stay tuned. Juan, welcome.
Thank you.
Welcome, welcome, welcome. And I'm glad to have you back because your first show was just so inspiring, that festival you gave. We're going to recap and then go into what we're going to talk about today, finances,
Sure.
Okay?
Thank you. Thank you very much.
Okay, Juan, I know maybe some people they didn't see the first show. If they're picking up, I'm going to repeat because I believe this is the springboard of every show, is what is it you love doing that you would do it even if you did not get paid?
Well, first of all, I want to thank you for allowing me back. And what I like to do is serve. And what we try to do is find out in what ministry, in what capacity are you best utilized. So you can use your ministry, your service for the good. The last time I was here, we were talking about having a festival, and we did that. Now we want to take
that was real.
It was.
That was really nice.
It
really
was.
nice. You
It
are a
was.
good MC. You just love the camera, right? And you dance. You were dancing. I think maybe I'll roll in a few of those dance
Oh,
moves
did
on
you?
this one.
Oh, watch out
Yeah,
now.
ooh.
A pastor doing that.
Uh-huh.
But it's not about any
Exactly.
character, right?
Thank you.
You want to
Thank
be
you.
able to
Thank
come
you.
out the box as long as you can communicate.
Right.
And people understand that you don't have to be perfect. You have to love God. And love God is manifested in many
Well,
ways.
David danced his clothes off.
Oh,
Hello.
yeah? Okay.
Tell me, didn't he?
All right. He sure did.
You know the word, right?
That's right.
That's the
right.
word.
Absolutely.
And dancing is okay. A lot of people take it and twist it because maybe they have a problem with it. Maybe
Yes.
they were a stripper and they say, "Ooh, I can't dance anymore." But you can't strip. You can do other dancing. Sometimes people
True.
take what they have a problem with and say it's a sin for everybody.
Right. Absolutely.
And if your heart convicts you not, you are at peace with God to me.
Absolutely.
And it's a personal relationship. It's a personal thing right there. And I want you to give, because the festival was right there around your church.
Yes, it
So
was.
give the name of the church and the address.
The name of the church is Peace Chapel Church. It's a non-denomination church. It's located in Los Angeles. Address is 7622 South Avalon Boulevard. It's right behind Fremont High School, if anybody knows that area. It's a big orange church,
Yeah,
right?
I know. Big orange
can't,
church.
you can't miss
miss it.
that, right? So that's what we do. And now we're expanding. We want to go, and as I'm pastoring, we want to fulfill every aspect of each Christian.
Wow.
Yeah. So not only do they get spiritually fed, now we want them to be educated in as well. You had mentioned on your smile, E stands for educate, right? The other one, the I, was what?
Invest.
Invest. So we're going to talk about how money works.
Oh, is that a good segue? You
That's a
are
good
so
one.
good.
Oh,
you're so
no,
good.
no,
You know,
not
you're so
really.
good.
No, I'm
You're so
following
good.
you.
Oh, no,
I got a good teacher, right?
Okay, so let's talk about that. And is there a certain quote? Because I may want them to do take 3. Yeah. Is there a certain quote? I know I get to that at the end because you have so many bits of wisdom that you could do one now and you could probably do one later. Quote. Okay. So
My quote is Team Young. It's an acronym. And it says, Y stands for youthful. I don't care how old you are. You can be youthful in thinking and in spirit. O stands for outstanding. We are looking for outstanding individuals that can serve. U is unique. Everybody doesn't have to be the same.
Tell it.
Everybody has their own talent, their own gift, their own spirit.
That's it.
And that's what we want that to happen too. N, the word N is noble. I don't care what you do. You need to be upright and you need to follow God's providence. And G means go-getter. Once you have all those things in mind, you go get what's deserving of you. That's what I want you to know. Team 1.
Team 1.
Team Young.
Team Young.
Yes.
Okay, Team Young. And that is your...
That's my last name.
That's what I'm talking about.
Yeah, so...
And see, my name is Smile, so we like that.
Okay.
Our names
So
are
what about
the finances and how we should invest? Let's talk about that.
Okay. First, I want everyone to know how money works. And if you know,
I sure don't know how it works.
Well, there are some people who knows how it works, and the one that knows how it works will not train you, will not tell you, because it's simple. And when I found out, I was kind of mad because it's not about the money you make, it's all about the money you keep.
That's it.
Yeah, if you keep money,
okay,
then you should know what to do with it. That's the first step.
Now you know what I know in Rich Dad Poor Dad, which you're reading,
yes,
that sometimes people think their house is an asset.
My goodness.
And it becomes a liability when you don't use it right and investing in property.
May I?
So yes, you can pull that out.
Okay.
And let's talk about when we should know when your asset started out becomes a liability.
Well, it's funny you should mention that because you're talking about most people think that buying a house is an asset.
And it's not always.
And it's not always.
Unless it's making you money.
Come on
unless it's bringing in something. If everything's going out to maintain that house, it's a liability.
It's a liability. Because I ask people, say, what assets do you have? Some of those assets, I got a car. I have
Yeah, and that's what I'm saying. That's
right?
liability.
Red flag. That means that the first word you said means that you don't understand money.
Yep.
And once you understand money, a lot of people work for money.
Yeah, and
but
money should work for you.
How many? Yeah, there you go. You read the book.
Oh, I read the book. Then they have
Okay.
rich kid, smart kid. But go ahead and like with you and in your experience, because I know I've really right now in this phase of my life, if I would have prepared more like the book I read,
Right.
I wouldn't be in the situation I'm in now.
Right.
Because right now, being retired on pension and all of that, and you're not thinking you're going to be living this long with that pension, it kind of runs out. So let's go ahead over some of your points.
Well, you made some valid points because you and I are the same in the same boat.
Right.
Now, every time I learn about this, I get mad. Why do I get mad? I wish somebody would have told me when I was 30 years old, 20 years old, in my 20s or 30s. Our parents didn't do that because they didn't know. They said, get a job, go to work, and work for somebody for 40, 50 years and retire. But that doesn't work now. There are people who are going to, they're going to school, they're graduating with PhDs, master's degree, and they go to try to get a job, and they can't get the kind of job that is really sufficient for the time they spent in college. Now, I got to be honest, I love education. Education is fine. But in school, I didn't like school. It was boring to me. The concepts that I was learning was not really helping me. And that's not to say anything, but the school system teaches you education so you can get a good job, so you can stay on your job, and your job is the one that's going to tell you how much money you're going to make. It tells you when you get off. It's going to tell you how many vacations you can have. It really doesn't pay you for what you're worth. In other words, if you work hard, you should get compensated for that. Is that right?
That's true.
So some people should be owners, and that's why, or know the value of ownership.
Yes.
And that's what we try to teach that
Yeah,
as well.
because everybody in a church can't be the pastor. You have to have the people to listen. And if you own a business, you can't do everything. You have to have people to work for you.
Right.
But one thing it teaches in there also is that every job you have, you work it like it's your job and use that as learning tools to that next job.
Absolutely.
And that's what we don't think about. You should always work a job like it's your company.
Absolutely.
And that's the key. And one thing is stressed in that book is it's good to do the cold selling and the marketing to get used to rejection.
Yes. Right.
And the no's, and the no's is you're going to get plenty of those on the way.
Plenty of those, right. And a lot of people have crumbled because of that.
Yes, because of the no's.
Because of the
they
no's.
don't go on. But if the first jobs you get and to get into sales or this and that and going out and speaking to people, it prepares you for your own business.
It makes you harder. It makes you more. And then the other thing is, how much of a commitment are you willing to take?
Exactly.
Here's what we do. We teach to help families to earn more income, be properly protected and financial free, independent. I always ask people this: what is your FIN number? FIN. And when I first taught, right? And you would know. Would you know that? What was
The
your
FIN number?
Yeah. My FIN number, financial independent number. What would it take for you to get to a point where you don't have to work anymore? You're retired. And what I mean by retired, not to not work anymore, but to be able to make more choices. See, money allows you to have and make more choices. But if you're limited with your money, you're limited with the choices that you have. Here's the thing. A lot of people, more than 80% of the people that work right now, they're dissatisfied with their job.
Yep. Oh, yes.
But they're working at a job they do not like, and they know that at the end of the job, 30 years, they're not going to have enough money to retire.
Hello, that's my situation.
That is, but what you were doing is, I think you're working in a job that you like.
I love it.
Every job I had, I liked it because I'm gratified. I was grateful for having that. It was always something positive in that. And if I said I didn't like it, I was going to look for something else. I always had that entrepreneurial spirit. I worked at the post office for 18 years, right? And while I was working there, I loved it, but I wasn't satisfied with just working there. I did a variety of things. I sold clothes. I did things on the outside to earn more money. Why? Because I wanted to be compensated for what I was doing. And when I first started at the post office, I was doing my work, and people would say, hey, what are you doing? I said, I'm working. He said, no, you're working too hard, man. Slow down. You're making us look bad.
Exactly.
And I'm like,
exactly.
you got a job, right? We're supposed to do this job, right? Why do we have to wait to do it? I'm ready to get this done and give me something else. I'm enthusiastic. I love what I do, and I'm going to work that in my job. So I knew that that was not for me, to play it safe. I'm not a safe guy. I've done businesses. Preschool. I have that for me and my wife for 20 years. I'm a barber. I've had that for about 10 years. And now I'm a pastor. So all these things are accumulation of what God has gifted me to be. And now it's like, I want to give it back.
See, that is
You
the
gotta give
whole
it back.
purpose.
Yes.
Now, take one. You know, I'm now doing what I love. I wake up every day and I have to pinch myself. Yes, I do have down days. I do have times when I get discouraged, just like a mother raising children. You love them, but there's times you get discouraged. But guess what? It took me 34 years in corporate America to work something I didn't like, and now I get a pension and Social Security. But guess what? That's financing what I love to do, which gives me no pay.
Right.
A day doing what you love or hate.
Ooh.
Oh
my goodness.
That is horrible.
Yes.
If you do what you love, you've never really worked a day in your life.
That's right.
So if you make something doing what you hate, it's really not accomplishing anything. I don't even know how to put it. I know there's a quote that goes goes with that, but do what you love to do. Even if you have to work a job, which is just over broke, to finance what you love to do. Never give up your passion in marriage or anything. So basically, he is just right on point. Right on point. Yeah. So basically, we are on the same page as far as that's concerned. Now, you're going to do the traditional financial institutions, or I know you're talking about the FIN. The FIN, again, is
financial independent number.
Right.
Where do you have to go in order for you to be independent?
Gotcha.
You have to be your own boss. And you're saying right now that you're not able to be in that position right now. Well, I always ask, look, what we used to do is traditional.
Yeah,
you have
30 years, I did 30 years, got my pension and my Social Security now, and boom.
But you had a checking account. You have a checking and a savings account.
Checking and a savings. I had a 401k, but I've been retired for 20 years and kind of depleted that because the cost of living goes up and your pension and your Social Security stays the same.
Right. So you
dip into that.
So the FIN number, it gives you that. It's almost like I would call it like a GPS. If I was to call you and I say, Denise, Miss Smile Lady, I'm coming to the studio. I forgot how to get there. You're going to ask, what would you ask me?
Where are you?
Absolutely, right? You're going to say, where are you? In order for you to tell me where to go to get to where you're going,
you have to know where
you are.
Hello.
So we look at where you are and we calculate where you want to be. And we put it right here in our map. Okay. And all you have to do, that's why I said it's so easy. But yet, it's not known. The rich know it. And they create, and I'm not talking about just wealth. They do it generationally. It's generational wealth.
From birth.
From birth, and then when they go, their kids and their kids. And that's what I want to do.
Now, here's one thing I want to say. This. I think, for the most part, maybe I'll speak for my family. You're not supposed to leave home and be demoted. You should leave home and be promoted if you were planning well enough. And a lot of cultures lay that foundation. They have savings, they have inheritance, they have investments, and they teach that. One thing about Rich Dad, Poor Dad.
Yes.
Rich Dad, Poor Dad. Get that book, Robert Kiyosaki.
Get that book.
Robert Kiyosaki.
Really?
Check this out. The rich dad was the poor dad.
Absolutely.
And the rich dad was the poor dad.
Yes.
And the poor dad was the rich dad.
Right.
Which means the poor dad was the one that made a lot of money but didn't know how to manage it.
Right. And the poor dad had all the education. He had master's degree. He had PhDs.
Yes.
But his thinking about how to manage his money was the poor way.
Exactly.
Right?
Exactly.
And then the rich dad only went to the 8th grade.
Yes.
Right?
Yes.
He went to the 8th grade, but he knew somehow that if he does certain things, he looked it up.
And the way he got it, because his parents didn't do it. So he went and investigated, and he taught his kids, and his kids taught his kids. When his dad left, and we are required to leave an inheritance to our kid. That's what the Bible says.
The prodigal son, he got his too early and squandered it. But anyway, you're not supposed to be demoted when you leave home. And another thing about that too, Robert Kiyosaki's wife. Okay, here's where we do the assets and the liability.
Yes.
They had properties, and she wanted to get a Porsche or a Jaguar or whatever.
Right.
Okay? And instead of taking money and getting into debt, she cashed in one of her assets, properties, and paid cash for her car.
Right.
So she took the money that she earned there, which was an asset.
Absolutely.
Bought the car cash, no car note,
right.
Broke, and now this car is made. See, a lot of times we get into debt thinking that we're moving ahead, and it's an asset, and it's a liability.
And it's a liability. What do we want to do? We want to use our inheritance, not our inheritance, but our liabilities.
Exactly.
We want to use our assets to pay for ours. All the money that we accumulate, leave that over there, and the accumulation off of this.
Exactly. That's where Rich Dad Poor Dad comes in.
And so if you put your money in a bank, the bank don't give you anything. I mean, you have a savings, right? But anytime that something happens, you're going to go right back into that checking. You're going to go use the savings put back in the checking. So really, the savings is not a savings. And when the banks go in, they'll take your money and send it right out to the global economy. The banks are not there to make money for you. They're there to give you loans, to pay for your mortgages. They're there to do something else. You're not investing in a bank. Banks, savings accounts, loans, and then if you put your money in a vehicle that you should have 3 accounts, short, medium, and long term.
Oh, they have this new thing out, and I want you to give your words of wisdom because we're running out of time, where you have the 4 envelope method, and I think it's the Japanese, where you separate that, and one of them each month, it may vary, but that's the way you do your financing.
Yes.
But take 3. I want you to speak into your camera and give words of wisdom.
Yes. Listen, I didn't explain the whole package. And you can't explain that in 22 minutes or 30 minutes of what we have. But here's what I want you to understand. You, in your situation right now, you can reverse that. It's only with the knowledge. I, with the acronym of Young, Team Young, can do that for you. Absolutely free. We can give you a financial analysis of where you are, give you a GPS, and where you need to be.
There you go. Where do they reach you?
Absolutely free.
And where do they reach you?
You can reach me at area code 323-246-6787. Again, that number is 323-246-6787. More importantly, if you don't have a church home, I need you to come to Peace Chapel Church. It's located on 7622 South Avalon Boulevard. My pastor is Antoine Fitz. Wonderful young man, a mighty warrior for God. Love to see you. It starts at 11 o'clock. Oh, let me tell you, church don't start at 11 o'clock. Church starts when we get out of church. Church service starts at 11, but the real work starts when you get out. God bless you.
Thank you so much for smiling. I know you got a lot out of that. You were born to leave this place better, and we need to train up our children when they're young on their finances, how to invest not only their talents, but their money. You know, we get one-sided. We go overboard on one thing and forget the other. It's like putting tires on one half of your car and you're just all lopsided. So anyway, invest wisely, train up your children, and you can really, 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 if you work your purpose, if you're not working it, what is your purpose?
Yes.
So we will talk to you, and thank you so much for smiling.
On your dreams that you will be that person you always wanted to be. And this life is worth living in the way you want to. away.